Hey there, www.andrewmartinmusic.com on a lovely morning in the woods. This is a riff vlog on the fake Egypt, or you can see my blog, Judaism is Egyptian spirituality, known as the religion of Kemet, or Kemetism, which eventually got morphed into the Hermetic tradition. So yeah, that's what this blog is about. It appears that that during the time of Abraham, you can see my blog on Abraham and who is the demiurge. It appears that was the start of this conflation of the pharaohs, the Egyptian religion of Kemet, fused with this fake Egyptian religion that came out of Sarah and the Pharaoh, this unholy marriage that happened. So that seems to be the root of this. Eventually it made its way to the 18th dynasty, and there are many who are saying that what's his name, Akhenaten, the story of Moses is taken from Akhenaten. I think that's pretty well inarguable at this point, although whether he was Akhenaten himself or a vizier, hard to say. I would lean towards Aaron being the priest servant, and Moses being Akhenaten. You see, it's the number 18 is right there. They're obsessed with the number 18, and that's 33 centuries ago. Obviously, the Freemasons, were in on this. Not that I don't believe you can find truth there. I think, they're a part of this fake Egypt, who, by the way, the new year in the Egyptian calendar was September 11th. And the first month was named after Hermes Trismegistus, Thoth. So, that would mean nothing if it wasn't for what happened on September 11, 2001. And this fake Egypt, that is Tamerica, which means Egypt's spirit. So Tameri means the land of Egypt, or that's one of the interpretations. And Ka means spirit, so you have America, so Egypt's spirit. Beside Egypt, you had the land of Canaan, and beside Tamerica, today we have Canada. So yeah, it's hilarious. These folks are hilarious. So it's hard for me to gauge what went on with the religion of Egypt. A lot of that depends on the history that's been obscured. Now, there are people who say that the gods of Egypt are just archetypal energies. And I'm willing to accept that. And one of the things that comes along with this interpretation is that the pharaohs are actually good. And I'm even willing to go, okay, to a point, up to a certain point, maybe they were. You had a very long-lasting civilization, and it's hard to have a long-lasting civilization when the leaders are all corrupt today. But this interpretation, could be wrong. Like, if Egypt goes back at least 12,000 years and further, you know, i.e. the Sphinx. Then these archetypes could very well be gods. Now, once you get to that point, you have two options. You can say, well, it's the alien Enlil, or in my view, it's the Christian Gnostic archons. So that's my camp, that Egypt came out of the archons of Christian Gnosticism. Now this goes to the nature of Ptah, which is the name for the demiurge in, I believe it's the religion of Memphis. Hilarious that Memphis and Tamarica brought out Elvis. See the archon EL and the Isis at the end there. They do have a sense of humor. Yeah, so because I'm a Christian Gnostic, I lean towards that the gods of Egypt are not energetic archetypes, but they have a real referent within the metaphysical universe, other dimensions of reality. So perhaps another Earth in another dimension, you know. And to me, that's the only possibility of all these biblical stories. You know, the Garden of Eden was another Earth in another dimension, and it fell eventually into this construct, which is deeply material, low vibrational. And at that point, people should check out the website of Wes Penray. I'm going to do a blog up on his site eventually here. I think he's a really good source for, you know, this information. What he's wrong about, what he's right about, I'll give my opinion in that blog. So what we have today is we have, you know, this continuation of this fake Egypt, which will bring in this, you know, false Messiah, you know, and the Messiah is the Pharaoh God King. That is the Messiah. I mean, you know, they just ripped it from Egypt, you know, the mesa oil of the alligator to anoint the God King. The God King Pharaoh was the link between heaven and earth. So that's the exact same definition of this Messiah, you know. And we have all these machinations happening today, which are false, you know, because Judaism is false. It's basically the religion of the Egyptians. You have this hybridization of the pharaohs with the Canaanites, and that is right in the name of Israel. Oh boy, I'm getting blinded by the light here. So yeah, I go slow over these potholes. Beautiful day here in the woods. But yeah, so we're gonna have this this fake Messiah show up. And by the way, like, extraordinary manipulative of the writers of the Old Testament, the Torah, the Tanakh, not to name the names of the pharaohs. I mean, they easily had access to the names. And this, again, goes to the obfuscation of what's going on here for thousands of years. This, you know, this borrowing, and I'm being nice here, of the Egyptian spirituality, the Egyptian religion, into a fake one called Judaism. So, yeah, I would argue also that Christianity is fake. Created by the same people as a you know, civilizational dialectic, a spamming of millennia, and that Christianity is also another iteration of Kemetism. You know, the Osiris, Isis, Horus template. and this is why Rome has the obelisk at St. Peter's Square, Ptah, the demiurge, and why Washington, D.C. has it, which was New Rome, the city of Seven Hills, built in Washington, D.C., is patterned after Rome, and it has the same obelisk of Egypt. This is all this fake religion of Egypt, you know. So of course, how this plays out today, it's not going to be good, no matter what interpretation, you know, ends up being true here. It's not going to be good, because you can't get anything good out of falseness. So, you know, not good. And no, Islam is just as fake as Christianity, just another project of the archons to divide and conquer. It looks like one of the main goals was to get to this 33rd century from the 18th dynasty. So yeah, that 18th dynasty is interesting. Some people are saying that the template for Christ was, I think, the great-grandchild of Akhenaten. I'm not going to argue against that, but in my opinion, that would be the reincarnation of Thoth, and the reincarnation of Thoth ended up in the Ptolemy bloodline, likely through the females. Cleopatra was Thoth, and if that's true, then all the official history of Cleopatra and Antony and Caesar is all fake, you know, just obfuscation, backed up by corrupt academies, and we all know who controls those. Anyway, I'm on the road again, so I got to shut this down, but see my blog. Judaism is Egyptian spirituality. I'll link it in the description. And yeah, y'all have a good day, and prepare for the collapse. You know, I would suggest, if you have the means to get out into the country and have some kind of shelter, depending on how big your needs are, that has wood stoves, fireplaces, do that. Get out, because this is not going to be pretty, no matter what version of this ends up being played out. It's not going to be pretty. Anyway, www.andrewmartinmusic.com. We're going to focus on driving out. Peace out.